Here we are then with the women's points race final.
We gaan boven de baan opstellen at the fencing or also down at the blue bands.
The rundown of the riders in the women's points race.
Women's point race final.
Kirsten Wield with 2 world titles already.
25K. 10
There's Mashakova of the Czech Republic. Behind her from Austria, Vorina Eberhardt, the 23-year-old rider. And from Slovakia, Alzbeta Bacikova. Trini Schmidt. From Italy, Letitia Paternoster. Rider who's been a junior world champion on the track. Then we've got Anita Stenberg there at the front from Norway. Multiple national champion, in fact won 20 national titles so far. Eleanor Barker, the world champion last year, defending her title. She's got a bit of a sore shoulder after that crash a couple of days ago. She didn't ride the Madison yesterday. Right to the back then for Belgium is Jolien Dora, world champion of the Madison. 100 laps, 10 sprints, 5, 3, 2 and 1 points, and double points on the last lap. Great reception for Jolien Dora. So they're going to roll off now, and the first sprint will be in 10 laps. Remember, the points are 5, 3, 2 and 1 every time there's a sprint, and then double points on the last lap, and if you take a lap you also get 20 points. The rider who ends up on the most points at the end of the race will be the overall winner of this race, and will take the rainbow bands. It is a straight final. Everything nice and steady, and the Italian rider on the front, Letitia Paternoster, moves up to the top of the track. On the front then for Mexico, Sofia Areola, silver medalist in 2013. She's in the red of Mexico. French rider goes to the front, and that's Coralie Demade, 25-year-old rider. Swiss rider just on the wheel. Denmark with Trina Schmidt. Riding for Ireland, Lydia Gurley. Kirsten Wield just tucked in the group. Another medal for her yesterday, but it wasn't the colour she wanted, riding with Amy Peters. "96 laps of racing to go."
95 laps remaining.
Kirsten Wield swings up to the top of the track, and she'll slowly make her way back through the string and try and time her sprint right to come back to the front. so that she can try and secure some early points. Starts her move back up to the front. Jennifer Valente of the United States of America just did her turn on the front, world champion of the team pursuit. There's Anita Stenberg in the red, white and blue of Norway. Jolene Dora starting to make her way to the front. A very fast sprinter on the road. Looking for a wheel to follow. Goes with the Canadian rider, Jasmine Doering. Eleanor Barker making a move up on the outside. Took her world title in Hong Kong last year. Feels a bit steady. Means there's not an awful lot of room to manoeuvre around. Jasmine Doering on the front. So the move starts to happen, and it's Jennifer Valente against Kirsten Wild at the front of the race. Moving up on the inside is Jasmine Doering. Wild looking for a little bit of a gap to go through. And it's going to be side by side, but it's going to be the American rider who takes it. Great sprint there by Jennifer Valente. Well, Kirsten Wild was certainly the strongest woman rider earlier in the week, but maybe those legs are starting to hurt now as she pushes on to try and win the sprints, because last night she was beaten many times by Katie Archibald and Emily Nelson, which earlier in the week I don't think she would have been. Confirmation then that Valente took 5, Wild 3, Paternoster 2 and Badiakova took 1 point. And those of course will be the standings. Valente leading this points race. Team Pursuit world champion. She probably saw her teammate Chloe Dygert yesterday break the world record and take the individual pursuit. Maybe that's a bit of motivation. Letitia Paternoster there, very comfortable in the group. Riding at the top of the track for Russia, Gulnaz Badiakova, who's scored some points already. 1 point on the board. Coralie Demey on the front of the peloton, swings up for France. Sophia Areola goes up to the top, and Eleanor Barker does a very short turn. The riders at the moment will just share the pace. They won't do a massive turn because there's still 4 laps to go to the sprint, but they'll do enough where the rest of the peloton isn't going to get upset. It's all about sharing workload all of the time. Sophia Areola on the front. Kirsten Wild arrives straight away. Valente makes her move on the outside of the peloton. Paternoster is also there as they kind of cage in Kirsten Wild. Wild looks concerned about Valente being the key person, but still such early days. You can't really mark riders out of this. And the Barker now on the front. It's a very compact peloton with 2 laps to go. On the front, Sophia Areola, followed by Jolene Dora in the blue of Belgium. A big attack, though, comes from Jasmine Doering. Catches everyone a little bit wanting. Doering goes clear now to take some points. A big attack from the rider from Canada. Perfect moment for her to do that while all the other sprinters were waiting. Jasmine Doering trying to get these 5 points on the board, and then maybe she'll try and stretch it out a little bit more. Doering takes it, Dora takes second. And now they'll all look around and work out whether they should continue with this big attack here. And they do, so a big move at the front. One rider trying to go clear. Döring's legs will be hurting after that, but the move now comes from Germany. Charlotte Becker, she swings up though. And it's now a Swiss rider who is there at the front, and that rider is Andrea Waldis. The pace calms down. Trina Schmidt followed by Jennifer Valente. Jasmin Döring. So Jennifer Valente. I think that was the result of sprint 1 on the screen, so we'll wait for the result of sprint 2. 77 laps to go. So that was the overall standings, with Valente on 5, Döring on 5, and Jasmin Döring on 5 points after sprint 2, followed by Dora with 3, and Badiakova took 2, and Paternoster took 1. Which means Valente and Döring now are at the top of the leaderboard, ahead of Kirsten Wild and Jolien Dora. 76 laps to go. Jennifer Valente just testing the pace out a little bit more. Nice to see this race is a bit stretched. Spanish rider makes her way to the front of the race. Anna Iriarty. Elena Barker has not got herself onto the scoreboard yet. Barker is the defending champion for Great Britain.
Three laps for the next intermediates.
The pace then going up again. A bit of an attack at the front, and it's Anita Stenberg followed by Kirsten Wild. Kirsten Wild looking around. Letitia Paternoster on her wheel, but Wild is going to try now to take some points, and it is also Valente up there, but Wild finally takes one of the sprints. 5 points to Kirsten Wild. She got that one right. Counter-attack comes from Valente now. Big move by her to try and break away. And Valente's trying to split this race up. Big attack. Will took the 5 points then. Paternoster took 3. Jolien Dora took 2. Valente is still continuing with this big attack for the United States of America. Confirmation then that Kirsten leads with 8 points, Valente on 6, Paternoster on 6, and Jolien Dora up there on 5. Tied on points with Jasmin Döring. Big attack then from Eleanor Barker of Great Britain. The defending champion makes her move. Wild immediately trying to go with her, but Barker is putting in a huge attack here. Wild trying to go with it. Barker really putting in a massive turn. She's obviously decided that she's not scoring points, therefore she's got to split the race up. Wild is trying to go with her, and this race really seriously is stretched now. Lydia Gurley gets across for Ireland. 4 riders going clear, and they are dangerous ones. Well, will they continue with this attack? Barker is looking to keep this one going if she can. Wild and Valente refuse to work with her. Gurley looks around to see whether they can go, and Barker says, come on, do some work. 4 riders with a big advantage, and Wild is refusing to let this one happen. She's riding quite negatively in this front group. Lydia Gurley looks around. Still 4 riders at the front. Weald doesn't seem to want to let this go, which is a bit strange when you've got a gap on the rest of the group, but she's made that decision. Weald looks around. She wants to wait for the sprint. She brings it all back together. She closed it right down and then didn't continue with the attack, having got across that group of 4. It's all coming back together again, nice and steady. 62 laps to go. Helena Barker continuing with this move at the front. Kirsten Weald moving up on the outside, coming up to the next sprint. And Weald is going to take another 5 points. Weald is starting to dominate this points race. Weald will take the 5, Valente will take 3, Barker finally gets on the scoreboard with 2, and Letitia Paternoster with 1 point. Sprint 4, Weald takes the 5, Valente takes 3. 58 laps to go. Kirsten Weald is leading this race. 13 points to her. Valente on 9, Paternoster on 7, Jolien Dora on 5. There's another big attack going on at the front of this race as 2 riders go clear. You have to be really vigilant at the moment about what's going on in this race, because the race is getting stretched. And the rider who's off the front now, Jamila Machakova, was the world champion in 2013. Weald has obviously decided which riders she's concerned about. She's quite happy to let other riders go clear. Canadian rider now going across, and that is the rider who's already scored some points, and that's Yasmin During, and she'll be quite happy with this move. During decides to push on a little bit more now, so Yasmin During, Kirsten Weald just swings up to see if anyone else is prepared to go, and they're not. So Yasmin During now starting to turn the pressure on everyone else. During coming up to lap a couple of riders. She's got a group of 7 riders with her. Kirsten Weald is extremely strong on this track. She decides to just bridge to the leaders on her own. Kirsten Weald comes flying across to the leading group. So Kirsten Weald, the leader of this points race, just jumps across on her own. And now Valente has to try and close the gap as well. She's in 2nd place. Asks for a little bit of assistance. Off the front of the group now is Charlotte Becker of Germany in the white. 51 laps to go. So Charlotte Becker is up there. Kirsten Weald is making her move on the outside, hunting for some more points. If she takes this, she'll have a pretty unassailable lead, but Becker takes it. Behind her is the Belarusian rider Ina Savenka. We're at the midway point, 50 laps to go. Kirsten Weald still leading this race, scoring points all the time. Becker took 5, Savenka 3, Eberhardt took 2, and Weald scored again with 1 point. Which means that Kirsten Weald's now on 14, Valente on 9, Paternoster 7, and Jolien Dora and Yasmin During and also Charlotte Becker are all on 5 points in 4th place. 48 laps to go. Coralie Demey makes a little bit of a move now for France on a breakaway. Sophia Areola goes with it. Coralie Demey with a little bit of an advantage. All the riders swing up, and Eleanor Barker now attacks hard. Weald recognises that the world champion is going again. The defending champion, Eleanor Barker, flat out on this track, and Barker, an Olympic team pursuit champion, is very fast. Everyone looks around. Weald is unable to go with the attack, and Barker now is really pushing this on. She knows if she gets the 20 points, she goes to the top of the leaderboard. And Barker has daylight now between her and the rest of the field. Jolene Dora unable to do anything, so Weald goes to the front. Eleanor Barker has now about a quarter of a lap. Weald is looking for some assistance, and it isn't coming. So Eleanor Barker, Olympic champion of the team pursuit, world champion of the team pursuit, world champion of the points race, is now starting to turn the pressure up. All the peloton have sat up because Barker has a big advantage now, and she is used to these big efforts. She would be the first rider to take a lap if she can do it. She's got plenty of time before the next sprint as well. Kirsten Weald goes to the front and looks around again, and no one is going to help her. So, one lap to the sprint. Eleanor Barker seems to be suffering, but if she can hold off a little bit and just maintain an advantage. The rest of the riders going for this sprint now. Barker is going to take 5 points, which will move her up a little bit, and then she'll hope that the peloton all ease up a little now. She's continuing with this attack. She'll kind of think about it once this sprint has happened. And if everything has calmed down, then she'll continue with this attack. Barker still with a quarter of a lap's advantage. Kirsten Weald swings up. It is Jennifer Valente of the United States of America now on the front of the peloton. Trina Schmidt is also there. Barker hoping that they all sit up, but I don't think it's going to happen for her. The legs are giving out a little bit. It's been a long effort on her own. Suddenly the peloton sit up again. Valente and Weald tracking each other constantly. Weald is more worried about Valente than she is about Barker, but Barker finally thinks, right, that's it. Haven't got anything left. I need to sit in the peloton.
Cool.
36 laps to go. Kirsten Weald is the leader. And one rider going clear now from Poland, Kasia Pawlowska, who of course has been the world champion in this discipline before. Pawlowska used to ride for the Bowles-Dolmans team, has now swapped over to a new squad. She's just trying to stretch things out a little bit, see if anyone will go with her. Kind of needs someone with you. Machakova looks like she's going to react. Pawlowska unable to continue with her efforts. Quite hard out there today. It's very dry in this track. So Pawlowska peels up. Trina Schmidt goes with it. And so far, Kirsten Weald is heading towards another world title. Some tired legs in this peloton, I think. and some riders who are really on form. If you'd like to message us at UCI_track. And a big move at the front, but Kirsten Wild is too strong for these riders today. Going on the attack, and actually, fair play, Jasmine During is trying to hold her off, but Wild is going to take another 5 points. Kirsten Wild takes 5 yet again.
Dat brengt Kirsten Wild op 19 punten aan de leiding. 11 punten, 11 points, Valente, 10 points, Paternoster.
She's going to be firmly at the top of the leaderboard. Quite an unassailable lead at the moment. Wild takes 5, During takes 3, Valente 2, and Paternoster takes 1 point, which means that the standings are starting to sort themselves out now. But remember, there are 20 points for the win. Kirsten Wild for the lap. Kirsten Wild 19 points, Valente 11, Paternoster on 10, and Jasmine During still on 8. Barker is on 7. Jolien Dora and Charlotte Becker are both on 5. She hasn't got many sprints to worry about now, Kirsten Wild. Now the front of the race then. Lydia Gurley of Ireland. Behind her, now swinging up, is the Canadian rider. Jasmine During on the hunt for a medal. Tisha Paternoster's been riding so well on the track this week. And going clear at the front, the Canadian rider again testing things out. Jasmine During, she's riding really strongly today. "24 laps to go." Sofia Arreola on the front for Mexico. One rider's lost a lap, Elzbieta Bachikova. So the tempo really relaxes. Trina Schmidt is up there. Kirsten Wild is staying right on the wheel of Jennifer Valente, her main rival in this race. It's running out of time for anyone to take a lap. Jasmine During turns on the pressure again. Wild makes a move on the outside. During really moving, but Wild is flying on this track. As they make their way for the finish, a little bit of traffic. I think Kirsten Wild is going to win this points race. Kirsten Wild is on the form of her life right now. 20 laps to go. Confirmation that Kirsten Wild takes 5, Valente 3, During on 2, Coralie de May on 1 point. 18 laps to go. Kirsten Wild now 10 points ahead of Jennifer Valente. Jasmine During on 10, Paternoster on 10. So they're all trying to decide where the medals go. And the front group of riders contains De May, Sofia Arreola. Also in that group, Trina Schmidt, Jennifer Valente, Jasmine During, and Kirsten Wild. "17 laps to go." Dangerous group now off the front. Eleanor Barker a little bit worried about this move, so she tries to bring it back. The defending champion, the most I think she can get is a medal here. Still sore after that big crash the other day. Kirsten Wild then, 10 points ahead of Jennifer Valente. 14 points ahead of Jasmine During, 14 points ahead of Paternoster. A group of 7 with this little advantage now. 14 laps to go, and it's quick, this race so far. If you'd like to message me today at UCI_track is where you can find me on Twitter. This group of 7 working their way away at the front, and Charlotte Becker's trying to come across. Coralie de May is the rider who is setting the tempo. Going to the front, Sophia Areola. The next sprint coming up. This could seal this race for Kirsten Wild. Sophia Areola, Trina Schmidt. Wild moves up on the outside with the trademark way that she's been riding these sprints, checking over her shoulder as to who's going to be there, but Valente is going to give her a good run for her money, but Wild just accelerates again. Kirsten Wild takes it, another 5 points to Kirsten Wild. It's going to be a world title number 3 for Kirsten Wild. 29 points to Kirsten Wild with 1 sprint to go. Jennifer Valente swings up. She's in second place, but Valente took 3, Schmidt 2, and Badiakova took 1 for Russia. But with 9 laps to go now, this rider is looking at a hat-trick of world titles on the track. Eight laps to go. Kirsten Wild knows that this is her title. No one's going to take a lap apart from her and the rest of her group. So de May, Wild, Valente, Badiakova and Trina Schmidt take a lap. And confirmation then that Wild has 29 points. Also Jasmine During takes 10 points. Sophia Areola takes 20 points. Sophia Areola takes 20 points. So does Charlotte Becker. 6 laps to go. They may well have decided that that is going to be 20 points to a group for losing a lap. They're going to take 20 off. Might be the easier way to do it. That was a big group of riders who came across. So we're coming down to our last sprint. Another moment, the medals are going to Wild, Valente and either During or Paternoster. 5 laps to go. Here we go now, getting towards the last sprint. 3 laps to go. Kirsten Wild on a bit of a procession now. She doesn't have to do a thing. No one can beat her. She's firmly at the top of the leaderboard. She's just being cheered around the track. 2 laps to go. Making an attack now, Jennifer Valente going for the 10 points. Put her on 47, she'd still be 2 points behind Kirsten Wild, who's just celebrating around the track. She's not even bothering with the final sprint. Jolene Dora takes 10 points. Kirsten Wild takes her hat-trick of wins. 3 victories for Kirsten Wild in these World Championships. She's taken a medal in every discipline. Kirsten Wild will take the win. Behind her will be, I think, Jennifer Valente and then Jasmine During. But they had no answer to the power of Kirsten Wild. The average race speed 47.453 kilometers an hour. Kirsten Wild could not be beaten. The crowd all on their feet. And we'll end up with the medals being Wild, Valente and During. They were the three main animators of that race. Kirsten Wild celebrating, all the crowd getting involved in the party. We might as well sit back and enjoy the party. No point talking. Confirmation then of the points race. Kirsten Wild is the world champion, 49 points. Jennifer Valente, 43. Jasmine During in third place on 30 points. They are the medalists in that points race.